We have various types of grants for research. We have the grant only designed for research. We have the one designed for research and development and the one designed for research and action. We call them research grant, research and development grant, and research action grants. Depending on the donors, the guidelines provided by donors, the size of all those grants can vary from 500 to 50,000 US dollars for the small grants. And the medium one, the size can be between 50,000 to 100,000 US dollars. And the one that can be considered as the larger grants are the one with the budgets more than 100,000 US dollars. Applying for a grant, we need to think about which kinds of grants are we applying for, which types of grants are we applying for. We have some differences between the small grants and the larger grants. The small grants are mainly individual. It is for your own. You want to apply and you find the opportunity and you apply as individual. What is not the case for the larger grant, which is more focused on collaboration. They are collaborative grants which involve many institutions. That can be NGOs, universities, and research institutions. Then in terms of size, they are not the same. The small grants are mainly small, as you can notice, and individually focused, what is not the case for the others. The small grants are mainly target research theories, which is not the case for the larger grants. For the larger grants, which are mainly for community development, it is a grant developed for research and development, research and action, where you need to implement some innovation from your research to the community at the community levels. What we can notice also as difference is about the budget. For the smaller grant, the budget line mainly involves the direct costs, mainly like transport, small equipment, like consumable, like field assistant, and somehow for communication. For the larger grant, in addition to all those rubrics I cited for the small grant, you need to add some more rubrics related to audit, for instance, related to salary, which is really very, very important, because this depending on the living costs of each country, that's depending on the regulation for each involved institutions. We need to think about the largest grants. We need to think also about the audit. We need to think about the monitoring and evaluation. We need to think about the dissemination cost. We need to think about the audit, the insurance, and so on, which is not the case for the individual research grants. Thank you.